Hey y'all, Izzy here with Rolling Virtual Cards, coming at you with a brand new series on this channel. Hoping to make more videos here, just platinuming games. Or if you want to just call it 100%ing, I like the term platinum, even though I play on PC. But let's hop right into it with the introduction to Kunitsu-Gama. Kunitsu-Gama? I can't pronounce the name. Path of the Goddess. I'm just going to call it Path of the Goddess. You want to say Kunitsu-Gama, go ahead. I butcher it every time. But Path of the Goddess is a fantastic game. It's the first game I've actually ever platinumed. 100%ed. That has achievements. I've 100%ed most Zelda games. That's besides the point. But I'm going to go through the game, cover all the achievements, explain the game, and what better way than to walk the path and just show you a complete folder. Spoilers. So this is Kunitsu-Gama, or Path of the Goddess. This huge labyrinth of everything, starting here. So, the beginning of the game has a tutorial. This will not show that tutorial. Play the game if you want to see so. But it starts with embark on the path for your first achievement. Simply put, embark on your path is just beating the tutorial. Once the tutorial is beaten, you then get into Mako Pass, the first level here. So the Mako Pass, simply put, is a shortened form of other levels. So most levels have two parts to it. This only has one part. And let's talk about the difficulty of completing each segment of this game. So in the game, there are originally 3 challenges per level that you are shown after completing the game, followed by 2 extra challenges done once you get into New Game Plus. Along with that, there are hidden treasures on most levels, and you'll see those hidden treasures on the game itself, or on the level select itself. Your goal to 100% this game is to not only complete each level, but to gather every single one of these challenges. So we're going to go stage by stage and talk about how hard each challenge is, while also hitting up the different segments of the achievements. So purifying Mako Pass, which is this first one, isn't hard. I'll state this, when it comes to just running through a level, it doesn't take a lot of strategy. So this is a very underplayed game that came out last year, made by Capcom, and it's, I think, criminally underplayed. Number one, it's on Game Pass, so I think a lot of people, anyone who has Game Pass, should test this game out. They did a terrible job marketing this game to everyone. It doesn't play like it looks, honestly. I mean, like, look up some gameplay. It's an action game that has strategy elements to it, but you can really just kind of brute force run through the game. The challenge comes from the, for lack of a better term, challenges in each level. So for this one, there is 1 hidden treasure that you need to get. Some levels will have more than the allotted treasures, but there's one that you need to get for 100%, marked on the map here. And then the first 3 challenges is to defeat 50 Seath with So, who you are. You're So. Then defeat 50 Seath with the villages, and then assign villagers 2 or more different roles. So you cannot get the second achievement until after beating the first boss. Every time you beat a boss, you unlock a new villager role. So you'll need to do that. I suggest, in rotation for these games, to play the level, go to the base and do what you can in the base, fight the boss, Go back to the base, check out what you can do, and then at that point, I would suggest like playing the level again to get the achievements or to beat the challenges, and then go back to the base again, and then do the challenge for the boss. And then by that time, you should have the base done. If not, go to the next level and go back to the base. We'll cover bases in a second, but in this challenge, the 50 kills, it's not bad. The 50 defeats isn't hard. You might want to, like, if you don't hit it, you just don't complete the level. Just wait until another night comes to fight the Seath. So, I guess it's kind of hard to explain without hopping into a level. So I'm going to enter the first level and just show you kind of how this game plays. We'll skip the cutscene and I'll just show you the game and explain it so that people understand. Just for a quick little bit. So you start off, when you play the game, you won't have 4 villagers. You'll have to free them. But you start the game and there is a path. You have to use your orbs, or the souls up top, to carve the path. As you run through the game, there are different defilements that you can grab to gather more. You'll find the villagers roaming around, different items that you can break. Just kind of like things to collect. That's a ration you can collect. That's my cat. But you have your classic attacks, and this is kind of what you do during the day. You run around, collect Seaths. Like I said, that's one of the like extra chests you can find. But you really need to get a feel for it. The goal is to get to the end by carving the path, and once you get to the end with your goddess, you'll complete the level. Most levels, other than this first one, will have multiple. We'll have at least 2. At least 2. I think it is like max. Is it max 2? Yeah, I think it's max 2 barriers. You can choose roles. Lots of different roles. Roles cost money. Again, I don't have a lot of money right now, or souls to use. But this is kind of the idea. Then when it gets to be nighttime, which I will just fast forward to show nighttime. This is when the Seath come out. Seath, I just call him Seath. That was my cat again. She's very obnoxious. So, as the Seath come out, your villagers can help fight. But you simply just defeat the Seath and keep the goddess safe during night. That's the difference. In the day, you're strategizing and collecting things, and at night, you fight the Seath. Okay? Oh, I don't want to close the game. I'll just do this. Pop back over here. That'll just clear that out. There we go. So, that's the concept. I wanted to give that little brief showing just so that when I say stuff you might understand. But we'll show, you have 3 different resources. You have your, what counts as like the money in this game, or your, yeah, I guess money in this game. It's the soul orbs you get from defeating monsters and defilements. This is used for clearing the path, and defeating, and setting rolls. You have your rations, which are used for both healing and your villagers, and then you have your XP. XP is reusable. I have max XP, which is why you don't see anything there, because you give it to the user, to the rolls. But that being said, when it comes to the first 3 achievements in here, it's not hard. As long as you get the second villager, you can do that in one try. Again, if you play a night and you realize you don't have enough, you can just fast forward to the next night and defeat them. Once you do New Game Plus and you get to the last 2, don't let So receive damage, and complete the stage in 2 or fewer days. That's a common occurrence in the New Game Plus, where they just give you a set amount of days to beat the level. They're not hard. You'll complete them as you go through, and not letting So take damage. It sounds worse than it is. You basically rely on your villagers in order to deal the damage. You stay out of harm's way. Probably just use your arrows to deal bits of damage here and there. If you do take damage, the game auto-saves every night and day cycle. So if you complete a day and it gets to night and you took damage at night, you can just load that night. Don't restart the level unless you like majorly messed up. But just restart the night. It works a lot better that way. You will need the thief in order to get the first chest. You can honestly, the chests are probably best left for New Game Plus. You can just, because you will have the thief, you'll have enough points to where the thief can be max level, and you'll still have levels in the units you want to use. So that will allow you to kind of like just grab all the chests you didn't grab already. I did not do that. I'm terrible at 100% in games. I like to 100% them as I go along, which is not a smart idea. I do highly suggest completing the quests or the challenges right afterwards, like after you check the village out. And the reason being is the base. So the bases have things you need to repair, okay? Each one is simply you assign your villagers to go repair them. And so we'll hop into a village and show you what it looks like. Multiple different villages, multiple different things at the villages, so we'll show off. One of the 100% things you need to do is collect these plaques. That'll show off monsters, and different, and different like livestock. This is just, you just collect these by getting your chests and your challenges completed. You have your tent. In the tent, there's a few things you need to 100%. The first thing are these. You need to unlock every single one of these from 1 up to 68. There are several different categories. You have the first category, these lotuses, or lotai. I think lotai is Spanish. Is that plural for lotus? I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments. But lotuses are just powering up. So, the hammers are leveling up things that happen usually during the day of the level. The dishes are leveling up powering up your villagers, or making it easier to use them. You can equip like 3 of these to make changing roles or setting roles. What is that, like 10, 25, 45 cheaper, which is kind of nice. And then you have the cloud, which is just making the game harder or stupider. I don't suggest using them unless you want to challenge one. Then it's kind of fun, like your Shiro will die in 1 hit, so his health will not recover and will be depleted in 1 hit. So like if you take damage, if So or your Shiro, who's the goddess, takes damage, you just lose. When So uses Trees Boss, and your Shiro will also become invincible. It's kind of a funny thing. But you have those, you need to collect them all. Over here you have your power-ups. You need to collect all of these. They're all special attacks. These are all the different bow upgrades you can get. You need to gather all the different foods in which you can feed her, which is kind of fun. You can give her little gummies. It doesn't do anything, I'll let you know. It's just kind of cool. You can go look at her. You need to unlock all of these, which, again, all of this is just unlocked by playing the game and getting all the challenges. But there's a lot of just different little things that you need to unlock. This is how you do New Game Plus. And lastly, but definitely not least, you need to level everyone up to max. including so there is enough XP to level everything to 100%. Just enough. So that is the reason why you want to do stuff, leveling up and all your different villagers. So at first, the game is a lot more of like, what villagers do you want to use? You'll go to the tints, you'll rework the villagers, you'll find what works for you. I like archers. Some people really like using the woodcutters. You can brute force using anything, just not the what is it? Not the priests. The priests don't do damage. But I'll go over these just for a quick second for anyone who's curious. Woodcutters are your first class. They're just your simpler melee class that'll run up and hit people. Most leveling up is simple. It's an HP up and a power up, and then something interesting, and then an HP up, a power up, and then something interesting. As you level this one up, they just end up doing more damage and also depleting resist gauge, which harder enemies and bosses will have, allowing you to just deal damage to them for a longer damage to them so that they get stunned. You unlock the archer next. This is, in my opinion, the best class. It's just simply put, they have a lot of range and they have a lot of speed. So with very, very little cooldown time, they can just take out a lot of the enemies, including airborne enemies that the woodcutters cannot touch. After that, you unlock the... I think it's this way. No, actually, I think you unlock the... No, I think it's the aesthetic. You unlock the... Is that even not? Aesthetic, yeah, aesthetic. And the aesthetic is interesting. I didn't use them a lot, but they're not bad. They slow down Seath that get close to you. And eventually lower their defense. So they're very useful when like paired up as a support unit. They don't do damage to Seath very much at all, but like archers can attack them while they're getting slowed down, which is a very good combination. Or you can fuse them with like the woodcutter to get some more damage out of them. The thief is useful in a weird way, so it gives you more crystals by digging up the different digging up and unlocking the different chests. It's the only unit. Well, actually, I think most units are needed at some point to 100% the game, but it's the one that's most needed just to be able to dig up all the different chests. The coolest part is at the end, they'll pick up dropped crystals everywhere. I guess that's what they're calling the same crystals that are around at nighttime. So this helps you just pick them up, especially during nights where like you're doing challenges or So's not supposed to take damage. He'll pick up the crystals so you don't risk yourself taking some side damage. You then have like the shaman who heals people. That's all it does. It heals you and the units. You have the sumo wrestler. This is one of the more expensive ones, and this one's cool. It pulls enemies towards him, like threatens them, making them want to come in or aggro them. And then it just does a lot of damage, and they have a lot more health than other units, so it's very useful. Spearmen, I did not use a lot. They're very slow, and they're supposed to be, like, useful against, like, larger foes, and I just didn't see that. I just found them very slow and weak. Your next unit here is, like, the sorcerer, and we're going to talk to him after everything else, actually. So we'll talk about the priest. The priest is the worst unit. It does two good things. Actually, it does only two things. I guess three things. Certain Seath will power up other Seath by enchanting them. He de-enchants them. Okay, that's okay. I've never ran into the issue. You just end up killing the enchanted one. The enchanter first, if you know what you're doing. He can purify toxic pools, but only in, like, the 2 levels where those Seath appear that cause the toxic pools. And then lastly, and the kind of good thing, is that he does purify your villagers when they get possessed, which happens in, like, 2 different levels. On New Game Plus, it happens a little bit more, but, like, not enough to where it's much of a problem. Just have more units that kill the thing before they get captured. Marksmen have a larger range and more damage than the archer, but their fire rate's worse. So I like them, but I still think the archer's a bit better. Quick shot does make it a little better, so they fire faster. And second to last is the cannoneer. Cannoneers are simple. They just deal a lot of damage. They're pretty affordable. They're slow on their DPS, but they deal a lot of damage and they hit a lot of like AoE effects. So they're great at clearing smaller guys. Sorcerers are what breaks this game. If you don't know what you're doing, you won't understand. I actually had to look this one up when I played the game because I was confused. The sorcerer will unlock a special bead that charges. The more sorcerers you have, the faster it charges. Eventually, when it charges and you switch to it, it's on the same bar as your special attacks. It will nuke the screen, killing all enemies and dealing a large shock to any bosses if you're in a boss battle. They're broken. You can play through the game like New Game Plus just using sorcerers. Just using them as a screen nuke. But that's those. So, on the other hand, has a few upgrades. This is your base attack, and this is your other base attack. So this is what you'll be used to until you unlock the ability to power up so, or to upgrade so. And this literally just gives you powered up attacks by holding the heavy hit instead of just clicking it, which will deal more stun damage. I did not learn how to use this version. You just fight differently. It's just a different stance. I don't understand it. Maybe I'll play through it once with that stance and see how it feels. It's kind of interesting. This is your arrow. So doesn't really need a lot of upgrades, honestly. You choose whichever stance you like better and just max that out so that you deal more stun damage. Archery, you choose to have it, and then you just choose whichever archery you like better. You have simply like a pierce shot that goes through multiple things. The butterfly shot, which allows you to teleport. This is needed to gather some stuff, so I suggest equipping it when you need it. Usually I just have this equipped since I know I needed it to collect things. Axle shot, which just stuns the enemy. It explodes. It's a sticky explosion. The spider shot is the stun that'll stun a bunch of enemies. So you can get in for more damage. And then the pinnacle shot, which is just massive amount of damage. And knocking them back. Choose what works for you and switch to that. Over here you have his best stuff. This is the command abilities and equipment slots. So there's some cool things, like you can command the villagers to all go to one spot at once. You can have your Shiro stop by the command screen instead of having to run over to them and tell them to stop. Fixed position will make it so that certain units will stay in place. Toshibo guard slot and the Mazo talisman slot are both used to just increase how many special attacks you have and how many talisman upgrades you can have. Those are very useful. And lastly, this is just kind of your other abilities. Worship allows you to go to these little like sections that are, and I think 2 levels don't have them, but most levels have them. It just makes you invincible for a period of time. So like, and it recharges every night, so it's not a bad thing to have. Very useful for the don't take damage challenges, because you can get invincible and get in some damage. You have Punishing Strike, which is super useful. When an enemy's stunned, you can just basically one-shot them. Plunge Attack is a very quick way to get in and deal some damage to enemies. And then you have the Recover when you fall down. This is the other one where you swiftly recover and perform a counter-attack. So you choose which one you prefer. This is your counter-attack. When unlocking this, you can counter attacks. It's needed for being good at the game. If you get good at countering attack, the game becomes a lot easier. You can just counter everything and one-shot stuff. And then Perfect Guard. This is if you pull guard at the proper time, you'll just stun everything. So if you have perfect guard and counterattack, you can just kind of like start wiping everyone out. But it's not needed. It's just another way to play the game. If you don't like to target and stuff, there's like one challenge that requires it. That's all the characters and roles. It's the different things. This is the stuff you're aiming for. But that's that. Now let's get into, I guess, the nitty-gritty of achievements. Now, I guess the last thing to talk about is the boss. Bosses are simple. You have an enemy, you fight them. The units, you can direct where they go, but they do have special commands during bosses, which is guard and attack. Attack means they all attack the enemy, and guard means you protect the... they'll run and protect the goddess. Here's the thing. Every single boss has a timer on it, and the faster you beat them, the better chance you have of getting the special, or the challenge, which is just beat them within a time. Yeah, the thing about beating them within a time is that just tells you not to guard the goddess. There's no problem if, I mean, like, as long as the goddess has, like, one sliver of health left, you still win. So, you might as well just body the monster and just attack. I'm not going to give you the best guide for them. I like using archers. That's about it. But this one's a minute. It's not hard. It's pretty simple. And again, same thing with Mako Pass. Each one will take some time. So I think these were all like one-day ones. So the way it feels is you do the Mako Pass, then you go here and assign, I think, like 2 to the lantern repairs. Right, so that's the 4. Then you do the boss, you go back to here, and then you set 2, 1 to the Jizzo statue and 1 to the Kanano statue, or 2 to each. And then you do the extra level, play this to make sure you, assign 2 villagers 2 different roles, and then, let's get the villagers to defeat them, because you don't see that stuff as you play. And then you go back here and you're like, let's assign them to the last repair. And then you beat the boss within the time limit. If you already, like, beat the boss within the time limit, you can just go on to the next level and just don't forget to check. You'll know they're complete when, number one, it tells you they're complete. But they'll also get this cool, like, banner here that you can see. This, like, glowy banner. So, from there, you move on to this next level. This one is Kokeshi Grove. Talking achievements here, though. With the achievements here, what you need to know is that after Mako Pass, you're most likely going to get Come On In, which is entering the tent for the first time. Defeat Goken Yudo, which is the first boss. And next is Purify Kotashi Grove. So again, simplify Kotashi Grove. Challenges here. There's 1 chest, 4 villagers. As you can see, there are actually 2 shrines because there are now 2 segments to each level, with their own defilements per section. The challenges aren't bad. Don't use any rations. This is going to be one that, I mean, if you know it, you just don't click the ration button. Assign villagers 3 different roles. You'll have to beat the boss to be able to do that. Destroy all pots. These can be annoying, but it will mark off the pots as you destroy them. The second time you play through, mind you. And then, again, that second time, and the new game plus, you have defeat 10 Sith at the same time with So. That was annoying. You really just kind of had to time a spot to use your strongest hit to one-shot everything. And if you don't get it, you just reload the night and wait for a bunch of them to come. It's really annoying, especially if you're trying to get it at the same time as completed in 3 days or fewer. Again, the completed in fewer days, it's not that bad. You just want to make sure the goddess moves as far as possible. Using calculations, you'll know the game well enough to do that. In the base, again, there's just 5 spots. Won't be too hard as long as you don't forget about it. And the boss is 1:30. I beat it in 1:06. It's not that hard. And the timer doesn't start till the boss fight actually starts. So, from From there, you'll continue on, and you'll have completed the grove and defeated Tachi, and then you get the next part, which is again just purify Yarn Cavern and defeat Makajaro. So here is simple. There are 5 people, 2 shrines, and the challenge is here. 1 chest you need to make sure you get, and then you have to complete the stage with all lanterns lit, and complete the stage without lighting any lanterns. Okay, this is annoying. If you don't accidentally get one of these, you're playing through this level again 3 times, because you cannot both light all the lanterns and not light any lanterns. Okay, so not knowing this, there's a chance you lit all the lanterns accidentally, because that's just kind of like that's what the whole point of this place is. That your villagers can't attack anything in the dark. You produce some light, the lanterns do. So you just kind of like, either you'll play it and ignore all the lanterns accidentally, not knowing it's a thing, or you'll play it and light them all because like you have OCD. If not, yeah, you're playing it 3 times. It's not too hard. Not lighting them can be annoying, but just like heavily rely on so. Don't let Yoshiro take any damage. This is simple. Just protect Yoshiro. Literally protect the goddess. Make sure it doesn't take damage. If she does, just restart the night. That's all. Just load the night again and play again. Then the next, in New Game Plus, you'll have to defeat 100 Seath in the villagers, or with villagers. So just allow the villagers to fight the Seath and you just ignore them. And then complete the stage in 3 or fewer days. Not that hard. The base has 6. There's just 6 in this one. And the boss is this is probably the hardest boss until it's not. They identify that the lanterns stun it, but if you don't catch that, if you don't understand that like the lanterns literally make its weak points show up, you're gonna try to brute force it. That's not possible. It sounds like you're wasting time, but use the villagers to light the different lanterns so that no matter where it is, it'll take damage. And then you can go to pop it off, and it'll be very fast. I went from not being able to touch this guy to doing it in like half the allotted time. So you'll get those 2, and then you'll move on to the next part, which is purify Urna Village, and there is no boss tied to Urna Village. Okay, but there's a lot of villagers. There's 2, 4, 6, there's 8 villagers. 1 shrine, because this is a very unique one. And so the way this one works, is this the right? Yeah, this is. Okay, so the way this one works, this is a very unique stage. There's 2 of these in the game, and in these ones, the goddess is taking enough, has consumed enough souls that she is petrified, and you become a soul. So when you die as so, you become a soul fragment, and you slowly heal up. In this one, because you're tied to the goddess and she's gone, your goal is just to collect a bunch of soul and revive her. Once she's revived, it's done. So they give you a lot of villagers so that they can do a lot of damage, okay? So the first is to consume 1900 or fewer crystals. This is really hard because you need 1500 crystals in order to do a lot of that. In order to purify her. Okay, so after, this being such a unique place, there are unique achievements. So first off, you have something like consume 1900 or fewer crystals. This one's hard just because it costs, how much was it to cost? I think it's like 1500. No, it can't be 1500. I think it's like 1000. It's something around there, maybe 1000 or 1500. Yeah, it's you have to heal the goddess, and doing so basically just means you have to consume crystals. So you just want to make sure to watch your crystal use. Use as few as you can. Use the cheapest villagers. Assign villagers 5 different roles. Well, if you've been keeping my track, you have your main role, and then 1, 2, 3 bosses have been fought. So that means you have 4 roles. So you cannot complete this until you do the next level and the boss there. Then you will have 5 roles. Down here, purify 5 wild animals. That's very simple. During the day, you run around and you just purify 5 animals. This is just by, like, hitting them. You attack them to heal them, okay? You do not transform until after the first day. At night is when you get screwed over. Assign every role to the villagers. This one's fun. So these two are the New Game Plus. And yeah, you just want to assign all the roles. There's 8, and there's, I think, 10 roles. So you'll have to switch to. But it's kind of fun. And then defeat 25 Seath with the Sorcerer, which is just make a few Sorcerers, hide them, and just use the screen wipe. You'll do it pretty fast. And there's only 1 day, 1 night cycle in this. You quickly grab everything, you go to the night cycle, and then bada bing, bada boom. You're just perpetually at night until you fix the until you free the goddess from her encampment or imprisonment or soul takeover, whatever you want to actually call that. But they're very unique. I like these. I think they're interesting. You really pushes that strategy part of the game. Base has 7. Not that hard. Oh, I guess, yeah, there's no chests on that one either, and just 1 shrine. The next that you'll unlock is here. This one has your classic 2 shrines, your 7 people, or your 7 villagers. You'll have 2 hidden chests here you have to get, and then again the classic challenges here. First is to defeat 10 Seath using Shishiro's Spirit Ward, and then defeat 10 Seath using Hazukimi explosions, and repair 3 or fewer contraptions with the Carpenter. That's one thing I didn't really go over. You do unlock the Carpenter, I think, like in the 2nd stage. He just repairs certain defenses. Platforms to give your range units more area, defensive walls, little area of effects that buff your units, small things. You just keep track, it'll tell you, and just make sure you only do 3. Just the 3 most important, you think. The 10 Seath with your Shiro Spirit Ward, this is simple. Literally, you just use your Spirit Ward, which is just an attack. Your Shiro Spirit Ward, my bad, not an attack. So, the Spirit Ward, which is shown off in this level, is these boundaries that protect your Shiro, and any enemy that goes into it will die. So you just let 10 enemy Seath get close to her and just die. Defeating 10 Seath with the Hazukimi explosions. Hazukimi or Hazukime are exploding Seath. They will explode, destroying any constructions near you, killing a lot of things, dealing a lot of damage. If you do enough damage to it, it goes from red to blue, and then it will explode. Just hit them and have them explode, killing other Seath. It's not that hard. The last 2 were pretty cool. Uses them to explode another Hazukimi 3 times. So this is just a chain. When one explodes, it'll do enough damage to explode another one, and you just chain that. So that's a fun one. And then beat it in 4 or fewer days isn't that hard. The village or the base is 7 again, so again not that bad. And the boss needs to be done in 1:30. I did it in 47 seconds, so not that hard to beat. Then once you get this one, you can go back here and do the challenges there. So that'll be purifying Ernie Village and purifying Okamayama Passage, and then you'll defeat Surob Atashi. That's this guy, Surob Atashi. And then you move on to the next one. This guy. So this is This is Moji Ridge. So Moji Ridge is interesting. You get a lot of guys here. Okay, like a lot. This is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 units. There's 2 parts, 2 shrines, and some fun challenges. One chest. And the challenges are do not use any rations. Again, if you play normally, you're going to use rations, and then you'll just do it again without that. Don't let your Shiro take any damage. This one's hard, just because, like, eventually not letting her take damage can, like... honestly, you just have to play defensively. Just surround her with stuff, so being less aggressive and more defensive is best when you're doing that. And don't let So receive any damage. This is another hard one. If you're trying to do all 3 at the same time, not using rations, not letting your Shiro take damage, and not letting So take damage, it can get out of hand a little, but it's fun. You just kind of keep So near your Shiro, use him to defeat any guys that get too close to her, and then just have, like, your units protect you, and really push to get it done as fast as possible. In New Game Plus, you're going to don't command the Carpenter to repair any contraptions. There's a lot on this map. You just have to ignore that and complete the stage in 3 or fewer days, or I think that's 3 or fewer days. I don't like that they cover that up, so it's hard to see, but again, that one's not much of a challenge. But it's fun. I like this level. It is one of the harder levels, probably, but you get a lot of units, specifically because it tells you the 2 don't take damages. And the boss is fine. This is another reason you get a lot, because you get to use the same villagers in here, and you got to do it under a minute is your goal. With all these units, you just end up romple stomping the enemy. Batsu is fun, and that's the next 2 achievements: defeating or purifying Moji Ridge and defeating Batsu. Technically, yeah, the base here, this is a larger base. This has got the full 9 spots, but you have a lot of units, and you're gonna get some of those, like, 6 units to repair this one thing. So, but as you play through, as long as you make sure you go back to them, even, like, if, like, you didn't complete it during the bosses and stuff, as long as you go back to them during the playthrough, you'll be fine. After doing that, I did unlock Multitasker, which is completing a stage with 3 Subu guards equipped. And the Subu guard is... so basically you will unlock, I think after this boss, you unlock the ability to equip, or to upgrade So. And upgrading So means you can equip more Subu guards. So having... and that's your special attack. So having 3 of those equipped is fun. And then I purified Uramari Lake. And this is another one of the unique levels, just like the previous one, but done differently. This one, you're on a boat. So you have 1 day to run around, grab the chests, get all the defilements in the 1 shrine, free all the villagers, and your goal is to get on the boat and make it to the end. You're just stuck in 1 small spot, and Seath will be on their boats. I don't know where they got boats, but they'll be on their little rafts and make it to your boat somehow. Magic, okay? The first one is don't let any of the boats sink. So basically, the Seath that are coming at you are these... there's some small ones, but then there's these really big tentacle ones. Know where that's going. And they will grapple onto the boat and rip parts off. You want to make sure that doesn't happen. You are given some cannons to blow them up from a distance, and as long as you're paying attention, you'll stop that from happening. Defeating 10 Harafagi before they reach the boat. The Harafugar are those tentacle guys. So as long as you defeat them before they reach the boat, which just means before they attach themselves to the boat, you'll get it. Should be pretty easy. You'll get that the first playthrough. Defeat 10 Seath using the cannons. This one you might not get the first time. Just use the cannons on any whenever you can, and you should get it. And then and then the new one is actually interesting. Don't use any cannons and don't assign roles to any villagers. If you're trying to do those both at the same time in New Game Plus, it's a challenge. Very fun challenge too. So you don't assign roles to the villagers, so they don't do anything. Literally just surround the goddess with them, almost as a meat shield. And not using cannons is annoying. You just have to rely on yourself and make sure that you do not have the teleport arrow attached. The teleport arrow in this game will teleport you off the stage, even though there is an invisible wall there, and you will fall in the water and instantly die. And then you have to slowly heal and come back to life. I've done it. Don't do it. It's not fun. The one night's pretty long, but it's a fun, interesting change of pace. From there, you take the ship over this way, and I guess the bridge, and you take the water down this way, and you end up over here. So you purify that place, and that's where I got Rags to Riches, which is just defeat Kogakurabu. Kogakurabu, it can be done almost, I think, on any of the levels that will come up, and it was just done in this level. It is a special enemy, and it's a Seath that looks like a chest. When you defeat him, he gives you a lot of crystals. So, you'll just get that by playing the game. You'll see him, he's really weird, and you just defeat him and you unlock it. Oh yeah, I guess base. There's not a lot here. There's just the 4. Or the 5. I can't count, apparently. The next level is Adashino Village. I'm butchering these names. Apologies to anyone who can actually pronounce these. This, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Looks like 9 villagers. 1 chest, and it's this one's all around the drums, and so the drums disenchant enemies, just like the 1 unit you unlock later. But the challenges are fun, so dispel the enchantments on 10 enhanced Seath simultaneously, so you just wait for a lot of them to get next to like that main hammer. Push all your units back, otherwise they'll kill them, because a lot of the units are like weaker. And then just pull that off once. Dispel the enchantments on 30 enhanced Seath. You'll just do this through this level. Don't dispel the enchantments on enhanced Thief. So this is another one of those catch-22. You want to try to get the first 2 the first time, but you won't know that you got to get 10 at a time. So you'll end up accidentally using the technique and then end up having to do this level 3 times. Again, not the end of the world. If you know what you're doing, or you see the challenge, see the tasks, or like looked up a guide, like this one here, not the end of the world, I guess. Like, yeah, you end up getting 10. You'll just end up doing the Seath the first time and then not using it the second time. And then the last one, dispel the enchantments on 30 Seath using a priest. This is one of the times you have to use a priest. It's simple, just bring a priest out and just make almost all your guys, every gate they're coming out, have a priest next to it, and they'll just disenchant them, and you should get to the 30. If not, just like force another night, but you don't want to, because you got to do it in, I think that's 5 or fewer days. It's a long stage, so but not bad. I don't love this stage, but it shouldn't be too hard. It just might take the 3 regular playthroughs, and then 1 on a new game plus. Base, it's another big place. It's got the 9, but then you get the next part, which is not this boss, but this place, which is Minzuko Burial Grounds. This is another, I guess, unique one. You don't get villagers in this one. It's just you. It's the reason why you cannot do a no-so battling challenge where you don't use so to fight, because you need to eventually. You don't get a choice because of this level. You can do it on every other level if you want a challenge. And only using so doesn't work because the levels where you don't have your abilities, because at night, because you become a spirit. So both are not possible unless you just ignore those 2 levels. I think there's 2 for that one and 1 for this one. So but this was cool. Defeat 1. This is actually one of the harder ones if you're bad at using your counterattack skill. So defeat 1 Shokaru with So's counterattack skill. Shokarus are super annoying, Seath, but they're weak to your counters and your perfect guards. So you just have to pull up a counter, and you have to defeat 1. So basically weaken it to the point that it's almost dead, and then just try to get the counter off. If you're bad at it like me, you'll sit there for 30 minutes to an hour trying to get it to work. And then use So's perfect guard skill against Sakao attacks 3 times. It's not that hard. Especially, like, you do get a special one that allows you to block the opponent. Or that makes the perfect guard easier. And then don't let Yushiro take any damage. Again, not that hard. You're going to be going for those things, and then you're just going to, like, just don't let Yushiro take damage. You might actually even get that accidentally by playing it. But just play very defensively and protect her at all costs. And then the 2 big ones, and this one's actually hard. Don't let So receive any damage. So this one's hard because you don't have any villagers on your team. So, like, you also got to complete it in a few days. But the fun part, the goal with this one, the idea is really to just kind of push being careful. Use the skill that gives you invincibility. Use that properly to take stuff out, and just be mindful. You can guard, because guard lowers your stun bar instead of your health. So guard as much as you can, and use your special attacks as often as you can, so you can take them out fast. Lots of just, like, you're gonna take damage accidentally, and you're just gonna load that night again until you do it properly. It's the get good challenge. And there's one chest that you can get yourself. You do need the teleport to get that, though. The base, not bad. There's just 4. There's just 6. And you might say, I thought there was no villagers. And you unlock those villagers when you fight the boss. So this boss you fight yourself. Very fun boss. When you defeat him, you then free the 5 villagers. But very fun boss. You'll beat him by yourself because like this whole level is just meant. This level of boss are meant to teach you how to parry, how to guard and counterattack, basically, just so you can use that. You can brute force it and not learn them, other than the fact that you have to, like, try to get them to work here. I just didn't understand the difference. I was bad at the game. But yep, that'll be the next 2, which is Purify Otoshino Village or Purify Muzaki Burial, and then scrolling up here so I can see them, and defeat Bupozo. After that, I got a Blessing and a Curse, which is complete a stage with 5 Mazo talismans equipped. So I had enough XP to add more talismans, and I got to equip 5. So that'll just be gotten if you choose the right level ups. And then you get Purify Ranger Marsh. So here's Renji Marsh. So Renji Marsh. This is my cat, guys. This is a cat break, I guess. Here's my cat. She loves me. My cat loves me. Too much. Please leave me be. I'm making a video. Yeah, my cat loves me too much. She likes to just jump up whenever she can. Renji Marsh has 2 chests, 2 shrines, and I hate this level. I just don't like it. You get 2, 4, so come on, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 villagers. Don't let So receive any damage from the toxic pools. So there are toxic pools all over the area. In order to get everything in the level, you need to touch the toxic pools once. Like just at least once. There is one spot that you need to touch. So, yeah, this one is just not one I truly love, honestly. But, yeah, like, the issue with the toxic and not taking damage is one of the defilements you need. You can't get to without touching the toxic pool. So, my OCD doesn't like it because I can't end the level the time you get this with all the defilements. You have to miss one, so that's really annoying. But Purify 5, oh yeah, but other than that, not using rations is fine, and then don't let Yushiro take any damage. This one was annoying as well. There's just a lot of annoying enemies in this specific stage that you have to be careful with. And you got to make sure that, like, when you're fighting the enemies, you wait for them to get on the land, but the land's so small compared to toxic pools. So there's just, it comes together to just be very annoying, and you can't heal your units. So you got to make sure you have a healer. It gets to be very aggressively not fun. But other than those, the new game plus isn't that bad. Purify 5 are the toxin pools. So this is one of those levels that have those guys. So those explosive enemies from the previous levels, there are versions of that blow up and make pools. So you have to let them explode as evil, and then use your priests to purify those. It's not fun, but you can do it, and then complete the stage in a few days. That's not hard. But then next you get the base, and the base is it's a big base. It's a big base with a lot of water, and it's just not fun to run around to choose the things. Kind of annoying, but it looks beautiful. This game is a gorgeous game. And then the boss. The boss is a fun boss. It's fine. He's this giant toad that you have to fight, and I think it was interesting. It's not hard to beat him fast, but he is an interesting battle, and a very ugly one at that. So that's defeating. So that's Ranger Mars and defeating Natsugo, and then purify the next shrine, which is this guy. This is your next level, where at night, after the first day, So becomes a spirit. You have one night, and you have to make sure you don't use too many crystals. So it's of 20,000 or 2,000, I think, to heal her. So you got to make sure you use less than 3,200. You don't let your Shiro receive any damage while she's sitting there, and you don't use any rations. So, I mean, as long as you set up properly, this isn't that hard. With 2,000 being used, like the first level, you basically you'll probably get the Yoshiro not taking any damage, and then you'll have to do the other two, and you'll just have to be mindful at that point. But 2,000 to turn her, and then you have I guess that's 1,200 to use. So again, just use cheaper units and you'll be fine. And not using rations isn't that hard as long as you have some healers around. Assign every role to the villagers in New Game Plus. That's just the same thing as last one. And then defeat 50 seats with the sorcerer instead of 25. There's more seats. It's not hard. You just assign all the roles, and you don't have to worry about the 3,200 cap prior. You'll just get a lot. And make sure you have, on both of these, when it comes to getting all the roles, make sure you have a thief for the nighttime to take them all. I actually missed a role to talk about. That's the ninja, and I didn't talk about it because it's so pointless. The ninja runs around and tries to act like So, but they just die really fast. So, because they'll fight the big guys, and not the best AI. Base-wise, 9. And then you move on to the next one. You get to the next one, which is this Great Cherry Tree. So the Great Cherry Tree is probably my favorite level. It does not matter if you move your character. There's a boss after this one. The whole tree is just one huge cool boss. So you grab everything, and you grab the chests, they grab the villagers, all the defilements, get the nice little shrine, and then that night comes, and turns out the tree's evil, and so the goddess will go hide in the back, and you just have to defend her while fighting the tree. And there's a lot of weak spots in the trees, which leads to a boss that's not actually a true boss. It's just a form of the boss, and then the tree apparently has a giant snake basically on it, that you have to fight. So you have to defeat your hero without using Subo Guard's powers. This is your special attacks. Yeah, this one's it's actually, honestly, it's not that hard to not use those, mainly because of how you fight him. Which Guard, you see there's rush attack. Guide Yoshiro's rush attack to hit emerging root 2 times. So one of the emerging roots is that fake spirit you fought. You just want to guide it to hit it. Once it's at half health, it'll start. It already does these attacks to hit you. It has 2 major attacks, or 3. The first one is a big sweep. You can just guard that. The second one is a guard crush, so don't guard it. You got to dodge it. Just sidestep out of the way, and it will dash him forward. This is when he gets weak, and you can hit all his weak spots. at half health, it'll start doing another attack where its roots come up, and sometimes those roots will have that spirit. And then while it's fighting you, you want to make sure that the root that comes out hits them. And it targets you, so it's not that hard to get it to hit it. It'll instantly stun him for more damage. You just got to make sure you do that twice. But it'll also bring a lot of like Seath falling down in these cocoons. And you just got to make sure you break those cocoons before they overwhelm you. You can destroy them all with oh, not wizard. Forgot the name. Not saint. Sage. Don't let Yoshiro take any damage. This isn't too hard. Just make sure your units don't do a lot of damage to the boss. So just keep him back to protect Yoshiro. And then New Game Plus, defeat 10 enemies before they spawn. Before they spawn from the falling defilement. So the defilements just fall down. You just gotta hit them. And don't let any villagers become cocooned. That's not hard. Again, just villagers become cocooned if they lose health. So you just make sure they don't lose health. So just keep them far away and make them rangers so that they pop everything. Or actually just turn them all into like 2 rangers and then 2 archers and 4 sages, just to pop everything really fast. Interesting idea. It works well. I like it. It's a super interesting level where like the boss is a part of it. It's cool. And that'll get you both purifying the Great Tree. Actually, I guess that is just purifying the Great Tree. You don't get one for beating the boss. And the base, it's a nice 8. You move on to the next one. This is the second and last boat level. So similar to the last one, you defeat 15 Harfki before they reach the boats. So instead of 10, it's 15. Defeat 5 Seath using lightning strikes. So this one's weird. It's a storm, and lightning will just strike stuff randomly. You'll either just get this one, or you'll sit there for hours trying to get it because lightning just doesn't want to work for you. Just don't shoot the small guys. Just let them die to lightning. And defeat 50 Seath using the cannons. Again, if you time the cannons right, you will end up getting them pretty easily. So I like the boat levels. I think they're very unique and fun. Don't allow New Game Plus is you don't allow the boats to sink, which is a lot harder in this one because there's a lot more boats parts that can sink. And don't assign any roles to villagers. Again, if you do both at the same time, it's a nightmare, but it is plausible. I did it. I think I had to restart twice. Just like very much prioritize not letting it sink. So. It's fun. I think it's unique. It's not too hard. There's 7 things here to get done. But if you time everything, it should go well. And that's purifying Kori Valley. And then after that, I got Family Dysfunction, which is defeat 10 Seath by using other Seath attacking against them. And I got that thanks to the Kateriko village. Kiritaki village, there's a lot. This is when like you start getting a lot of really big Seath coming at everyone, and they just swing and they will hit their own Seath. So you will just end up getting that without even trying, honestly. There's 2. This is one of the largest levels. There's splitting paths in this level. There are a few split paths in other ones, but this one's huge with like 2 separate gates you can take. I took both paths just for fun. But the first one is don't let Shiro take any damage. This isn't that hard. I did it the first time without trying. Don't let any villagers become cocooned. Again, I did that like the first run through without trying. If you're just cautious and understand that you want to heal your teams, it's not bad. Destroy all the pots. This one's annoying. It's just hard to find all the pots. You really got to look everywhere. New Game Plus, don't let So receive any damage. This one's annoying. There's a lot of big guys, and your villagers are not good at defeating the very big, hard Seath. So you kind of have to really push on like just using your special attacks to take them out, so that you don't have to worry about your guys dying. And then rely a lot on the sages, because they will even kill the big guys right off the bat. So. And complete it in fewer days. Again, not a hard one. There's 2 hidden chests here. Once you get all that and the 2 shrines, that place will be done. And then there's a boss, and you'll get this one right afterwards, which is just defeat Rakobo. And Rakobo it's a fun boss. I thought it was interesting. I did it in half the time allotted. Wasn't even trying. A lot of these later ones I ended up doing without even trying, honestly. After that, you got Purify Nasi. Oh, how do you pronounce this one? It is Norosawa Wind Caves. So, again, classic cave. Don't let a single lantern be extinguished. This is simply done by just not lighting any lanterns. It's annoying. But just don't light them, and then just, like, don't use ranged units, because ranged units will only shoot at the enemies you have, or that they can see, which are the ones you're by. So honestly, you just use melee, because they'll attack the things right in front of them. Don't let any villagers become cocooned. This one's annoying, but the first playthrough you should accidentally get that, just because you're lighting stuff, and the second run through this level, you'll end up getting the don't let them extinguish. But then also complete the stage with all the lanterns lit. So again, if you're paying attention as you play this game, you'll probably realize that this is a repeat of the previous one. So kind of like just light all the lanterns and don't let them all get cocooned, and then do the other one, okay? I was dumb and didn't light all the lanterns the first time, so I had to get not letting a single one be extinguished along with all the lanterns, and it took a few retries. Not of the full level, just of like one night where I lit a lantern I should not have lit, and the save was there, and it was annoying. But I got it done. Don't suggest it. I suggest doing multiple playthroughs. That's fine. Complete the stage without lighting any lanterns. That's not that hard. It's annoying, but not hard. And complete the stage in fewer days. Again, not that hard for New Game Plus. The base, not hard. Again, it's just a nice 7 spots to repair. And that'll get you that achievement. Next is Purify let's pronounce it right. Yamasuzo Lodging. This is the last regular level, and it's the hardest level. Go figure. Defeat 15 Seath. Well, okay, it's the hardest. Actually, I think it is just the hardest level. There's a lot of big guys that come from everywhere. It's really cinematic. I love this level. When you just play through it. Defeat 15 Seath using Zo's punishing strike skill. So this is annoying. You have to do it in one playthrough. One, like, run through the level. So it's, there's a lot of big guys, and it's, like, cool. You can take on big guys if you know what you're doing with counters and hitting them. And then you can go for the striking attack, but sometimes certain attacks that are supposed to weaken their, stamina don't, and I don't understand why. You're just gonna end up having to, like, I don't know, keep redoing nights. Luckily, it's none of that is like during the beat it in a select amount of days. That's New Game Plus, so you can just kind of keep redoing nights while your guys sit there, and just until you get that. Don't assign a villager the aesthetic role. Okay, so the aesthetic role, the reason why this is part of this and why it's supposed to be hard is the aesthetics are really good against big bosses, because it slows them down, allowing you to deal more damage to them. They're already slow attacks, so it makes it even easier to counterattack and perfect guard. I didn't use them through the run-through very much, so I just got that without even trying. Defeat 20 Seath using other Seath attacks. This is annoying in this level. They're supposed to just hit them, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And other times, it's like the lightning one. This one, you'll either get without even trying, or you'll have to sit there for a while waiting for them to hit them, and moving your units away so that they don't kill the small guys, and you force the big guys to kill. It's annoying. New Game Plus, don't let So receive any damage. That's not hard. And then complete the stage in fewer days. Yeah, it's you. Just don't run into damage. Don't be stupid. But I think New Game Plus on this was much more fun, because those challenges were really annoying. Yeah, they just didn't. The mechanics of the game didn't work as well as you would think. So, so the base last level, lots of all 9, and then the final boss that you get, which is Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry about the Windows thing popping up. I don't know how to get my mouse outside so I can look at the things while also doing that. So, I'm not a professional YouTuber or anything. Which is just defeat. Yeah, you'll be that boss. You'll get defeat. Yatsukagi. I'm gonna say Yatsukagi, and I did it in half the time. He's not too hard. He's kind of fun. He also is also not fun. Like, he's fun in some ways, but he runs away, and I hate bosses that run away. But after doing all that, you will unlock this. It's up there after beating it, but we'll talk about a few things, which is... That's my cat, guys. Ignore the pounding. Cat time again. So, yeah, so what this is I'll show because it's up top here. This is the Great Challenge. This is the Great Shine Passage. There are challenges on this one, and this is a boss rush. I love boss rushes. I think this is cool. It's not all of them. So what you'll learn is that some of the first few bosses, I think the first 2 or 3, are just normal enemies eventually. So they're not there, but the rest of them are. And each one of those gates is one of them, and then you get a set amount of heroes, people to fight, or villagers to use in there, and you get Seath, and that's where you get what's called Wisdom and Courage. Finish all boss fights up to the Great Shrine progress within a total of 20 minutes. So, this isn't as hard as it sounds. This is just doing the Great Shrine Challenge, right, in 20 minutes. And it's just going to look at the times of each boss and add them to 20. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there's like, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's like 8 bosses or something like that. There's a handful of bosses. And you just have to do them all in under 20 minutes. It's not that hard. So you can lollygag and strategize in between, okay? Once you beat it, there are challenges for the bosses that aren't time-based, other than that one. Mind you, after that, you're going to end up with Sweet Shot Well, okay, let's do the challenges here. So assign every role to the villagers. That's not too hard. You might have just done it accidentally as you played through and chose the right enemy, the right guys for the right time. If not, you'll have to do a second run through of this, and you'll just assign the random ones to whenever you need to. Complete the stage without entering spirit state. This is just not dying. I did that first try without trying. Don't use any rations. This one's annoying, okay? This one's annoying. If you get good, it won't matter. If you aren't good, just make sure you have a healer and you can run and stand by them. And then New Game Plus has even harder ones. Don't let Yushiro take any damage, and don't let So receive any damage, okay? Yushiro isn't... Okay, actually, this one's hard, annoying in New Game Plus. Luckily, again, you can reload from the boss. So you can just redo that boss battle. And that'll be after you assign all the roles. Or actually... No, I think it's before you assign the roles, which means you have to reassign roles, which can be annoying. There's a few bosses here where not taking damage is just, you're going to do it over and over and over again. One of which is the Toad, the giant frog, I forget the name of it. That one just took a few retries because you end up taking damage, or your Shiro takes damage because of its poison wave. And then you just kind of learn that as long as you put humans in the villagers in the way as a guard, it stops the wave. So they'll all become cocoons, but that's not part of the challenge. So who cares? Sacrifice for the greater good. Yeah, that kind of covers that. So now you got to this point where you can go to the final boss. Okay, you've done the normal playthrough. And where are you with your achievements? Well, let's go over that here before we continue. Okay. So as I said, you've done the embarking. Most of these you've just done by running through the game, okay? The few that aren't is like multitasker. As long as you are leveling your character up, that's fine. You'll find this enemy along the way. You'll end up equipping extra. You'll end up leveling up so to be able to use this. And then you get up here. Dysfunctional family will just randomly happen as you play. If you're good at the game, this one you'll just get without trying. But now it's like, okay, what do we have left? Well, first you have sweet shops. Obtain all sweets. If you've been doing all the villages up to now, this one won't be hard to get. You'll just... The villages are done. You might have to do a little bit of a grind here at the end before doing New Game Plus. Or even like the final boss, which is just set the villagers at the spot and then go ahead and go do the first level. The first level is the fastest thing to do. Technically speaking, you could also do the first boss because it also counts doing bosses. So you could just do the first boss over and over and over again. It's very quick and simple for you to beat, especially at your level at this point. So redo the first boss, redo the first level, whichever one you want to do. You also might, though, oh, I actually need to get chests. So at this point, if you're waiting, you could grab some chests at certain levels and replay them. Or you can wait till New Game Plus, like I suggest. But you'll get all the sweets, and that's that. Purify the Great Shrine Pass. This is, again, very simple. Once you do the shrine, once you beat all the mini-bosses, you'll get this. Implement agency. Assign every role to the villagers. This will just happen because you assigned every role to the villagers. Cool. Because you unlock the final roles and you'll just assign them. Bit by bit, consume a total of 100,000 crystals. Again, this will just happen as through the game. If not through the first gameplay, through the first run through, it'll happen at the last one, or the New Game Plus. Become Spirit Stone. This is defeating Nanamagaru. So Nanamagaru is the final boss of the first playthrough. Fun final boss, and he does have two things. He's got two phases. So the first one has to be done in 3 minutes, and the second one has to be done in 2.5 minutes. The second phase is done by yourself, and the first phase is done with all your units. Not too hard. Pretty fun fight, honestly. So that's defeating Nanamagaru. Then here, repeat history. Begin New Game Plus. So this is all the stuff you'll get in New Game Plus. So first, repeat history. Second, gathering of masters. So you can get this sooner if you just remove all the upgrades from So and just put them on all the units. You'll get it. You don't need both at the same time. And then you can remove all the upgrades from the units and put them on So, because you can rearrange them as you go. They're not permanent upgrades. They are removable. It's fun. I think it's interesting. Honestly, neither are that hard. Even if you don't do that, if you do all the challenges in New Game Plus, you'll eventually upgrade them both, and they'll both be perfected. Return to nature, purge 200 wild animals of the defilement. This, again, should happen during New Game Plus. You'll know that they give you rations, and so you'll just run around hitting them during New Game Plus, and running through all the levels again should get you enough to do 200 animals. Mountain Watch, complete all objectives in every stage, including those in New Game Plus. So once you finish New Game Plus, you'll unlock this one once you beat the game. The Little Giant, defeat all types of Seath. This one will not be gotten until you beat New Game Plus and you do this. This is the true final enemy. I defeat Cursed So within 4 minutes. Yeah, defeat Cursed So. Okay. I did defeat him within the time limit. I can tell you that because I got all the achievements. Load that for a second. Apparently it never took that one. Okay, cool. I know I get it, so at least I got all the achievements. But yeah, doing that will then get you, when you finish, will get you defeating all the Seaths. Then you'll get this, which is when you wish upon an Emma, which means you have all the Emma plaques, because you fought Cursed So. The end, defeating Cursed So. Mountain Goddess Folklore, obtain all Emmaku scrolls and view them from the tint, which I've done. Yeah, this did not save my last progress, I can tell. Living things, interact with... This is the last one that I got. You have to interact with the animals. So there's animals within the level, or within each village, and literally you just go in and you just pet them 20 times. So I just sat there petting stuff. And then unlock the achievements. So that's doing it all. It took me 4 days to do it. Again, I know I did that, so that's interesting that it didn't take. Maybe I'll just do that now. Yeah, live. I'll try to beat it within that time limit. So yeah, this last one, I'm gonna try this. I'm going to force a reset here. This is a little trick because it just allows you to change your equipment, and I saw the right stuff. So this, you need that. That gives them invincibility, and then this actually, I think that's invincibility is what you want. Maybe it's the buff. Let me see. Yeah, increase their attack power. And then the last one you want is the clone, which I personally suck at. But this one makes a specter. So, you want, yeah, I want the pin shot. I think I have the right other equipment. Increase attack, max HP, also. So it's max HP, increase the order. Yeah, I think that should do it. Oh, I don't have, oh wait, actually, let me see, what do I get here? I might not have enough crystals. I do. Okay, so apparently, the way this is done is simple. You just choose this guy. Don't need anything else. This guy apparently is just, he gets in there and just takes them out. This is the, yeah, you'll see the true final boss here. The biggest issue with this guy is that I don't like fighting him. I'm not good at countering, which I don't even remember how to do. Guard is left bumper. Yeah, we'll try it and see what happens here, guys. Again, I haven't done this in forever. It wasn't a part of platinuming, so I didn't care. Nope. Load. Nope. Let's restart the stage. I think I know what I gotta do here then. Not necessarily that it's fun, but I think I know what I gotta do. I'm gonna follow, so you want Talos Lightning, Riku's Vigor, and then it says Riku's Vigor, Talon's Favor. Okay, and it's Synergy. Rising Dragon, Noirol, I got those both. Crescendo. Crescendo's on. Oh yeah, Synergy. Yeah, okay. And then just, yeah, I like the HP. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I think I know what I gotta do here then. So we'll grab this. I'm going to try this choice because they nerfed the... So what we want is apparently Cannoneers. Supposedly this will work. Again, I didn't do this because it wasn't part of Platinum. But if I want to say I 100%ed it, I figured I'd show the last thing to people. And we'll test it out. I think I just definitely didn't want to do it at that point because it just sounded like annoying as heck. But here we go, everything's up. We'll try this out now. It'll save here. Reload and try that again. Okay. How do I... Okay, I guess I'll just look that up for a quick second. I don't know. Ah, shit. Okay, I gotta restart. Nope. Oh, come on, are you kidding me? Yeah, I think you've seen enough. I'll be back after I figure this out. Okay. I got it. Done in under 4:30. 3 minutes 52. There. Okay? I did it. Increases the villager's attack in proportion to the number of crystals in position. It's not needed for anything other than bragging rights, but I wanted to 100% it. Okay? So it's been 100%ed. Okay? I did it. I'm going to edit this video down so that you don't have to see all those attempts. Maybe I'll just make a montage of me dying. I've never really edited before, but I'm going to try. But let's round this out. Okay? So, after you beat him, and again, if you're achievement hunting, you don't have to do what I just did. I just wanted 100% the game, including achievements. And for once, the game's 100% was harder than the achievements. I guess that's kind of 50-50 sometimes. But there you go, okay? After you beat all the Seath, which is done after the last one, and you get all the plaques, which is done after beating him, and you get the end, which is beating the... So you'll also obtain all the folklore, and you'll be able to get the last one that you can do at any time, which is go pet some animals. That was brutal. Probably the hardest part of this 100%ing this game. If you're going for a 100% and not a platinum. But it was really fun, honestly, in the long run. I think this game is great. Again, I would speedrun this game if it wasn't for the end. I don't like fighting him. It's not fun. It's stressful. But that being said, if I kept fighting him, I'd probably get better. And then I could do the speedrun. Honestly, because you can practice him, you might get better at just doing that. But that being said, that's the video. I will see you all next time for my next review, which you can see on the side here, is going to be Indiana Jones. I 100% of that game. So see you next time. Peace.